Izanami, formerly known as Izanami-no-Mikoto, meaning she who invites, is the creator deity of both creation and death in Japanese mythology, as well as the Shinto mother goddess. She and her brother husband Izanagi are the last of the 7 generations of primordial deities that manifested after the formation of heaven and earth. Izanami and Izanagi are held to be the creators of the Japanese archipelago and the progenitors of many deities, which include the sun goddess Amaterasu, the moon deity Tsukuyomi and the storm god Susanoo. Her name is given in the Kojiki 712 AD both as Izanami no Kami and Izanami no Mikoto, while the Nihon Shoki refers to her as Izanami no Mikoto, with the name written in different characters. The first gods Kunatakatachi and Amanami-no-Kanushi summoned 2 divine beings into existence, the male Izanagi and the female Izanami, and charged them with creating the first land. To help them do this, Izanagi and Izanami were given a spear decorated with jewels, named Amanana-hoko, Heavenly Spear. The 2 deities then went to the bridge between heaven and earth, Aim no Yukihashi, floating bridge of heaven, and churned the sea below with the spear. When drops of salty water fell from the spear, Onigorishima was created. They descended from the bridge of heaven and made their home on the island. Eventually they wished to have children, so they built a pillar called Aim no Mihashira, Pillar of Heaven, and around it they built a palace called Yahiro Dono. Izanagi and Izanami circled the pillar in opposite directions, and when they met on the other side, Izanami spoke first in greeting. Izanagi did not think that this was proper, but they made it anyhow. They had 2 children, Hirako, Leech Child, who later came to be known in Shinto as the god Ebisu, and Awashima, but they were born deformed and were not considered deities. They put the children into a boat and set them out to sea, then petitioned the other gods for an answer as to what they did wrong. They were told that the male deity should have spoken first in greeting during the marriage ceremony. So Izanagi and Izanami went around the pillar again, this time Izanagi speaking first when they met, and their marriage was finally successful. From their union were born the Oyashima, or the Great 8 Islands, of the Japanese chain. They bore 6 more islands and many deities. Izanami died giving birth to the child Kagu Tsuchi. She was then buried on Mount Hiba, at the border of the old provinces of Izumo and Hoki. Izanagi was so angry at the death of his wife that he killed the newborn child, thereby creating dozens of deities. Kojiki talks of the death of Izanami and her tomb, which was located at the boundary between country Izumo and Hoki. It implies that Izanami transferred her soul to an animal and a human before her death, but does not state whether or not Izanami had incarnations. He lamented her death and undertook a journey to Yomi. He searched for and found her. At first, he could not see her for the shadows hid her appearance. He asked her to return with him. She informed him that he was too late. She had already eaten the food of the underworld and was now one with the land of the dead. She could no longer return to the living but would try to ask for permission to leave. The news shocked him, but he refused to leave her in Yomi. While she was sleeping, he took the comb that bound his long hair and set it alight as a torch. Under the sudden burst of light, he saw the horrid form of the once beautiful and graceful Izanami-no-Mikoto. She was now a rotting form of flesh with maggots and foul creatures running over her ravaged body. Crying out loud, he could no longer control his fear and started to run, intending to return to the living and abandon his death-ridden wife. She awoke, shrieking and indignant, and chased after him. She also sent Yakuza no Ikazuki no Kami and Shikome to hunt for Izanagi no Mikoto and bring him back to Yomi. Izanagi no Mikoto burst out of the entrance and pushed a boulder in the mouth of the Yomotsuhirasaka cavern that was the entrance of Yomi, to create a separation between the world of the living and the world of the dead, as well as separating Izanagi from Izanami. Izanagi is said to have performed ritualistic cleansing, harai, after witnessing the decomposing body of his wife. This is the traditional explanation for the purification rituals often performed at Shinto shrines in Japanese religion, where shrine-goers wash themselves with water before entering the sacred space. While he bathed, Izanagi gave birth to the sun goddess, Amaterasu, from his left eye, the moon god, Tsukuyomi, from his right eye, and the storm god, Susanoo, from his nose.